I just got done watching America's Team, The Gambler and His Cowboys. That's a hard name to remember for a documentary. I'm going to be straight up. It's really hard not to just talk about how everything that we just watched in this documentary is still present today with the Michael Parsons trade. And it's mind-boggling to me that somebody can go through these experiences and these events and still make the same mistakes. Strictly speaking about the documentary, this is a phenomenal documentary, probably one of the best ones on Netflix. I think in terms of pure production value, in terms of the direction, in terms of the way that they tell the story, I think it's better than The Last Dance. That's pretty much the only review I'm going to give it. Phenomenally made, fun and interesting story. If you like football, if you want to learn about the Cowboys and Jerry Jones, give it a watch. You probably will not be disappointed. Now, the rest of this video is just going to be my thoughts on the events that happened and kind of just like a general discussion between me and you guys of how f***ed up the Cowboys are. And probably one of the most shocking things that I learned in this documentary was Michael Irvin getting medically retired. I had no idea that his career ended because he was literally paralyzed on the field. I also didn't know that the previous owner, the reason that Jerry was able to buy the team was because the guy before him kind of went into bankruptcy. If you think about it, it's a lot of money, especially today, thanks to Jerry. It's a lot of money to buy an NFL team. It's like billions of dollars. It's crazy to think that if that guy hadn't have gone insolvent and went bankrupt, that Jerry would have never been the owner of the Cowboys. It's kind of a fun little alternative history to go down if you really think about it. Also, I never knew that Troy Aikman was just racking up concussions. I had no idea. If you listen to him call some football games, sometimes you'll kind of feel like he's concussed because it kind of feels like he's off into space and not really paying attention to the game. Also, bringing it back to Michael Irvin, I had no idea how perilously close he was to going to jail. Multiple occasions. He almost cut a guy's throat for cutting him in line to get a haircut. Jimmy Johnson gets hired and they lose his first season. They go 1-15, I think. And he goes, nah, something's got to change. I gotta make some changes. I know what I'll do. I'll divorce my wife of 23 years and leave my family behind so I can win a Super Bowl. Divorced his wife of 23 years and says it's football, and it's more football. And when I'm tired of football, I'm going home, I'm sitting on my couch, and I'm looking at my fish in my aquarium. And I gotta say, if there's anybody coaching my football team, I want him to have that mentality. Is it good for his personal life? Is it good for his eternal happiness? Not in the slightest. And speaking of Jimmy Johnson, you can't talk about him, especially in this documentary, without talking about the ego battle that him and Jerry Jones had over credit, over wins, over public perception, over the team building. And for it to end the way that it did, it really does make you wonder. This isn't a new opinion at all, but it really makes you wonder if Jimmy had stayed, if Jimmy would have been as dedicated as he was in those first 2 years when they won back-to-back, how many Super Bowls could the Dallas Cowboys have won? They had Jimmy Johnson, Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin. At one point, they had Deion Sanders and Emmitt Smith. The five of them together, I think would have been unstoppable. Also, Charles Haley on defense. If they could have just put their egos to the side, screw the Patriots with Brady, screw the Chiefs with Mahomes, we would still be talking about that team as the best team to ever play. And you can't change my mind otherwise. You can't. I watched 9 hours of content, and I still don't know if I like Jerry Jones or not. Because on one hand, I'm like, this guy reminds me so much of my grandfather. He's got that southern charm. He just says some nonsensical nonsense sometimes, and it's really endearing. And you just kind of like him. And then you get to the other part where he's bad-mouthing Jimmy Johnson, the guy that gave him 2 Super Bowls, and he's making really bad decisions, and he's choosing the show over the product on the field, and he's investing in the stadium and building the brand, but not building the roster. And then he has his kids come in, and his kids to this day still have not really put together an amazing team. So you have the guy that you kind of like, but he's also kind of a dick. And then you have his professional football acumen that is very questionable. And what you kind of get is this jumbled, hard to understand mess. And I can kind of appreciate a flawed person. But at the same time, do I want a flawed person running America's team, the team that my dad roots for, the team that my girlfriend roots for? I kind of want to see them win a Super Bowl. But with Jerry at the helm, I don't know if that's going to happen. And after watching, like I said, 9 hours of content, I still can't decide if I like him or not. And that's a crazy thing. Also, can we talk about who got that judge to let Michael Irving off so easily? I mean, I'm not saying it, but I'm saying it. You know, I'm not saying it. Jerry, if you're watching this, I'm not saying it, but I'm saying it. This is definitely a video that I'm going to edit and post and think about and be like, oh my God, why didn't I talk about this? Why didn't I talk about that? Why didn't I touch on this? And, you know, it's just one of those things where I think I could talk about this forever. So eventually I have to stop recording and just post it. But guys, in the end, this is one of my favorite documentaries I've watched in a long time. It very much rivals The Last Dance in my opinion. And yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. I would say it's worth the price of admission, but you probably already have Netflix. So if you like this video and you want to see more like it, go ahead and drop a like. Even if you don't, I'm going to make more because I love just talking about this kind of thing. So, you know, do it if you want to. And if you've liked everything you've seen so far, go ahead and drop a sub. We are on the road to 500 subscribers, and I really do think we can get there by the end of the year. I'm trying my best. I'm putting out content. Hopefully you guys like it. If you do, please subscribe. I would greatly appreciate that. And as always, guys, how about them Cowboys? Peace.